Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today, my friends at Mercedes of Shreveport have loaned me this 2020 Mercedes GLA 250 4Matic for the day. And we're going to take a quick look at it. We're going to do a test drive and talk about what you can expect if this is a subcompact you would like to purchase. And just off the top, for having a 4-cylinder engine under the hood, the performance is actually quite impressive in addition to great handling. And when you combine those things together, it's even more impressive of the fact that the gas mileage is also very impressive. And here under the hood of the GLA 250 is its motivation, the turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, putting out 208 horsepower and 258 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission, and the gas mileage, like I said, is rather impressive at 22 miles per gallon in the city, 30 out on the highway, and gets an average of 4 gallons per every 100 miles. The exterior color of the GLA in our video today is Jupiter Red. You will also find rain-sensing wipers, fully automatic headlights with fog lamps, heated and power door mirrors, roof rails, and a spoiler. Here in the rear cargo area with the seats down, you have a total cargo space of 43.6 cubic feet. You will also find a pass-through located in the middle section of the rear seats if that is something you wish to use. You might have noticed there doesn't seem to be a rear view camera visible on the GLA 250. Well, that's because it's actually hidden away until the GLA is put into reverse, at which time the rear camera pops down and is ready to be used. Okay guys, let's take a quick tour of the interior, and I'm going to give you a good full tour of the infotainment screen, the center screen here on the dashboard, and we'll change your position when we do that so you can see everything I'm talking about and see how all of this works as I do it. As far as the back seat goes, you do have air vents for your rear seat passengers, and at 5'10", you can see how I fit back there. This is a subcompact SUV, so it's not going to have the largest back seat, but it is roomy and comfortable back there. Maybe not the largest in its class, but if you have rear seat passengers, they will be comfortable. As far as the front seat goes, you do have power driver and passenger seats. You also have seat memory for the driver and passenger in the front, and the controls for all of that functionality are located on the door panel just in front of the door handle itself, not on the side of the seats like you may be used to in some vehicles. You also have steering wheel mounted controls, all of the functionality that you would expect there, and you can go through and change and make a lot of changes to settings on your dashboard with what is located on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. You can even bring up a digital speedometer if that's something you wish to use. And there are multiple driving modes. I will show you what those are in just a minute. And one of those being sport mode, you can shift the transmission with these shifter paddles if you wish to do so. Moving on to the center of the dashboard, you've got several different options here: radio, media, navigation, and several other options. You can also control the volume on the steering wheel or right here on the center of the dashboard and surf between stations depending on what you wish to do. You also have several different buttons down here underneath that area just above the air conditioning controls, including heated seats for the driver and passenger in the front. You can turn off the auto stop start feature, which is nice to do. If you don't like that feature, you can just turn that off when you get into the vehicle, and that way when you come to a complete stop, the engine will keep running. You do have dual zone climate control, and you can sync that together for both sides if you wish to do so. Okay guys, let's talk about the center screen here. Now, it's not a touch screen as you can see, but you can control this very easily. There's a dial and a couple of buttons here located on the center console just to the left of the cup holders, but we're going to go through. Everything's very easy to figure out as far as navigation, radio, media, and so on. And let's click on vehicle here. You've got numerous settings here. You've got vehicle, you can change the time and actually go in and change how all of that functions. You can change automatic settings. You can change the time zone if you want to. daylight savings time, which is set to automatic, something I would definitely want. You can set the time manually, and format. And so I'm going to hit the back button. We're going to go back there, and you can go into dynamic select, individual configuration, and then you can go in and make even more changes. You've got climate control here. Notice I'm just scrolling my way around the Eco Start Stop function that I talked about earlier. I showed you the button where you can turn that off earlier if you wish to, but you can also do the same here within the screen. You can change how the steering functions if you wish to do so. That's in comfort right there, or you can go to sport, and you can basically do the same thing with how the vehicle drives. You've got comfort, you've got sport, you've got manual and eco. Like I said, multiple driving modes, and of course climate control is right there. If you want to use that or change that, you can change it from eco to comfort or comfort to eco, depending on what the case is. Basically, very simple to use. Vehicle data, individual configuration, just so simple and so easy to navigate your way around. Of course, we've moved back to the previous screen. Consumption, a lot of good information there. You want to find the operator's manual, and I'm just going to probably have to cut through that. I don't know if we're going to get to that. There we go. We got through that. So let's go down here and click next. And it's just going to go through a lot of different information here. Again, you can scroll through and find anything you want, change language settings, contacts, visual search. I mean, it's pretty simple. Kind of just what I call the hunt and peck method. So basically, using this screen, the center screen, is very easy, and depending on what you want to do, you can make all the changes you want to. So we're going to go into individual configuration here. I'm going to leave that alone, but we're going to change the driving mode to sport, because that's what I want to drive in while we're out on our test drive in just a second. Okay guys, we're out here on the road with the GLA 250. And like I said earlier, the handling and the acceleration is actually pretty impressive for the inline turbocharged 4-cylinder, 208 horsepower. You're not going to have any trouble getting around. Now, obviously, it's not a high-performance vehicle per se, but the handling and the pretty quick acceleration for the amount of horsepower you have available in this model is very impressive. It is a lot of fun to drive. It does have that sporty feel to it. And once you get used to the steering and the handling of the vehicle itself, you're going to find that it's actually a lot of fun to drive. So let's see here. I'm going to downshift a little bit here. Yeah, I have to say I'm impressed with that. I'm very impressed. If you're looking for a Mercedes, maybe you're wanting to buy your first Mercedes and just kind of get your feet wet, so to speak, with a Mercedes vehicle, but you're not wanting to go super high-end yet, you want a nice SUV such as this subcompact that we're looking at today, well, this is definitely one that would fill the bill without breaking the bank. You wouldn't have to spend an outrageous amount of money to purchase this model, and you get all of these great features and amenities that we've talked about today, and the performance and handling. It's not going to let you down. I mean, basically for everything you would want to do with a vehicle of this size and of the category that it fits into, it's going to take care of you. You're going to enjoy it. A lot of great technology, a lot of great features. And while I am set in sport mode on everything right now, just kind of my preference for driving, you don't have to do that, but it really does give you a sporty feel. And the paddle shifters were a lot more responsive than what I was expecting. And even though, if you watch me regularly, you know that I really enjoy using this particular road for my test drives, and I didn't go through my favorite corner back there near as fast as I have in previous videos. For obvious reasons, this vehicle isn't really made for that kind of thing, but I went through a little bit above the speed limit and absolutely no problem. So I've switched into comfort mode. So let's see what the difference will be on that. I don't know that I can really tell so much here, but I thought just instead of just driving in sport mode, I'd give you comfort mode, and I can tell a little bit of a difference as far as the acceleration. Obviously, it changes a lot of settings on the vehicle, and you can go in and change those to where you can actually drive with different settings for the steering and for the acceleration of the vehicle, the mode you're driving in, depending on what you desire. But I can tell the difference in the ride quality based on going into comfort mode. I can tell it actually is riding a little bit better. So depending on what you want to do, you obviously have all of those options to meet your desires. Today's video featuring the GLA 250 came as the result of a request from one of my subscribers. So if there's a particular vehicle that you want to see me feature in a Vehicle Visionary video, tell me down in the comments on this video or any video that you watch here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. And if I can make that happen, I most certainly will. It'll of course be dependent on what is available locally here in my area in Northwest Louisiana. But I will do everything I can to make that happen for you guys. I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate my friends at Mercedes of Shreveport here in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this 2020 GLA 250 for the day. And of course all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.